Oi, what you doing here? Have you come back to take over Blackpool Pleasure Beach again? Because it certainly looks like that to me. Hello and welcome back to ThrillNet, bringing you everything thrill related in the UK and beyond via the internet. And today I'm bringing you a speculation video regarding the future of Nickelodeon Land at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, because there's been a couple of hints that have come up these past few days that suggest that 2021 may well be the final year of this children's area being at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Yes, that's right, there are a couple of bits of evidence that support the fact that Nickelodeon Land may well be leaving Blackpool Pleasure Beach this year, but before we get into the video I would like to stress that this is solely speculation. This evidence isn't deep at all, there's been no confirmation of anything, and I have no insider knowledge of the future of Blackpool Pleasure Beach whatsoever. As is the case with the majority of my videos, there will be timestamps in the description to the different sections of this video, so be sure to go and check those out. But without further ado, I think we should start off by taking a look at the history of Nickelodeon Land and what was there before it. I understand that some of you may be asking right now, well, why are you going to talk about the history of Nickelodeon Land and what was there before it when this is a video about the future of it? Well, the reason is because, based off a tweet that Amanda Thompson posted a few days ago, along with one or two other tweets following that, the past of Nickelodeon Land could well link to its future. Now, pre-2011, Nickelodeon Land was known as Beaver Creak, and it had quite a lot of the Nickelodeon Lands in there, but it was Blackpool Pleasure Beach's sort of own theme to this beaver known as Bradley Beaver, who was a mascot of the park for quite a while, until Nickelodeon Land took over. Some notable rides in the area included a roller coaster known simply as Roller Coaster, I know, brilliant name, Pleasure Beach, which now stands today Nickelodeon Land as Nickelodeon Streak, the Zipper Dipper, which is now known as Blue Flyer, along with a dart ride known as Magic Mountain, which has since been completely destroyed, which is now home of Dora's World Voyage, an outdoor water boat ride. In 2011, Blackpool Pleasure Beach signed a deal with Viacom to bring a £10 million Nickelodeon Land to the park. Beaver Creak closed in September 2010 when the renovation begun, with Nickelodeon Land opening to the public in May 2011. During this renovation, some rides were removed completely, such as Magic Mountain, others were relocated, such as the former Veteran Carousel, which is now known as the Thompson's Carousel and is located under Avalanche's Lift Hill, while others were repainted, with Roller Coaster being painted orange as it now stands today as Nickelodeon Streak. All the rides in Beaver Creak or Nickelodeon Land also received name changes to fit with Nickelodeon, so obviously the Roller Coaster was renamed to Nickelodeon Streak, and the Beaver Creek log flume, as it was known before, now stands as Rugrats Lost River, themed to the Rugrats film. Now, it's important to note that these leases or deals or sponsorships, whatever you want to call them, with these big company that theme parks such as Blackpool Pleasure Beach have in place, in the case of Viacom or Nickelodeon, tend not to last forever. Parks do, often renew these sponsorships, but they never tend to last forever. The deals that they have in place, these parks tend to last for either 5 years, 10 years or 15 years. Now, this is important when discussing whether or not 2021 will be Nickelodeon Land's final year, because we're now 10 years on from when the area opened and the deal was made in 2011. One piece of evidence to suggest that the park may not be renewing this deal comes from its very own managing director, Amanda Thompson OBE. Now, as many of you Pleasure Beach fans and theme park enthusiasts will know, Amanda does not want to keep quiet when it comes to future plans for Blackpool Pleasure Beach, or just her general assertive personality. John! Now, late last week, Amanda Thompson tweeted a picture of Bradley Beaver, the old park mascot, and something about a Tuesday, Bradley Beaver Tuesday, stating, "We may bring him back, watch this space." Now, take into account what I said before about Amanda and park fans, this pretty much confirms that Bradley Beaver is going to be part of Blackpool Pleasure Beach in the future. Obviously we don't know how, but he's going to be part of the future. Basically, she's practically confirmed that, you know, she said we may bring him back, but when you consider Amanda, that basically means we will bring him back. Now you got to take into account that this is Blackpool Pleasure Beach's 125th anniversary. It's a big year for them, so it makes sense that they bring something old back, you know, to celebrate sort of the history leading up to sort of, you know, this 125th year milestone. And, you know, it may be a matter of that Bradley Beaver, you know, they get him back out, you know, he's the mascot, you know, the old park mascot, and, you know, he's going around the park, and, you know, children can have a picture taken with him. But, you know, it could be something bigger. It could be that Nickelodeon Land is getting rebranded back to Beaver Creak. It could be something as big as that, who knows. Alternatively, it could be a matter of that Bradley Beaver is brought back as a permanent park mascot that wanders the park, that children can have the pictures taken with. Now, Nickelodeon characters have replaced Bradley Beaver within Nickelodeon Land, because Bradley Beaver was in their place before as a character children could have the pictures taken with in Beaver Creek. But, you know, that doesn't rule out Bradley Beaver could wander the park. They have Wallace and Gromit characters outside Wallace and Gromit that children can have pictures taken with as well, but yeah, who knows. However, I think that the most likely answer to this is that Beaver Creek could be replacing Nickelodeon Land, because in relation to Nickelodeon Land, the license for it potentially not getting renewed, there's some more evidence to support that possibility. So those of you who've watched my latest YouTube short about Blackpool Pleasure Beach's Walk the Woody event that they're doing for this year, in which participants are going to have the opportunity to walk part of Nickelodeon Street's track layout, I mentioned that they've released a new pin badge line, which comes in an engraved wooden box. Now, one of the pin badges in that box is obviously for Nickelodeon Street, because the pin badges are themed to their 4 wooden roller coasters, and obviously one of them's Nickelodeon Street. Now, the full name of the ride is Nickelodeon Streak, however the pin badge simply says Streak. There's no mention of Nickelodeon on that pin badge. Now, providing that obviously the sponsorship begun in May 2011, if that was to last for 10 years, you could assume that technically it runs out in May. Now, it's clear that Nickelodeon Land's going to be part of Blackpool Pleasure Beach this year, because if it wasn't going to be part of the park this year, they would have already announced something about it. It wouldn't be a matter of that we turn up to Blackpool Pleasure Beach and it's just gone, or would we? But yeah, that's highly unlikely, so we can assume that if it is to run out this year, the deal, and they're not renewing it, that, you know, part of the deal is that Blackpool Pleasure Beach can operate Nickelodeon Land for the 2021 season. However, that's not to say that there's different rules regarding merchandise, and it may be a matter of that they have to sell all the merchandise by May, and they're not allowed to like print any Nickelodeon branding on any merchandise or make any more Nickelodeon themed merchandise from May onwards. And, you know, in that case, that might be why they've made a pin badge that simply says Streak, because, you know, they obviously want to continue making that past May, and it would mean, well, I mean, I believe it's sold out already on the online shop, but, you know, if they were to make some more of that pin set, they won't be able to do that after May. So next I'm going to go on to talk about my opinions if Nickelodeon Land was to be replaced. But if you've enjoyed this video so far, be sure to smash the subscribe button and hit the bell to enable notifications. That way you'll become part of the Thrill Network and be notified about everything Thrill related in the UK and beyond, including Blackpool Pleasure Beach updates. So if Nickelodeon Land was to be replaced, what would be my opinions on that? Well, not gonna lie, I'd be quite sad. I visited Blackpool Pleasure Beach once when I was 8, so that's the only time I've really seen Beaver Creak. And other than that, I've grown up with Nickelodeon Land. I love the area. It's definitely the best children's area in the UK in my opinion. It's bright, it's vibrant, and it's got a great atmosphere. However, I have faith in Blackpool Pleasure Beach. They've been going 125 years, so they know what they're doing. And if they were to replace Nickelodeon Land with a new children's area, and they were sure that this could keep encouraging children to the park, I'd be all for it. It does worry me though that Bradley Beaver may not be able to encourage as many children to the park as Nickelodeon Land currently does, and that could negatively impact Blackpool Pleasure Beach's visitor numbers. You got to think Nickelodeon is a popular IP that many children know and love. It may not be as popular as it used to be, and therefore as effective in bringing visitors in as it used to be. However, there's still quite a few children out there that watch Nickelodeon. I'm no TV expert, but I just know for sure. Well, I don't really. If they were to bring back Beaver Creak, it would need to be a whole lot brighter and more vibrant than it was before, because what they had before for a 2010 children's area was nowhere near vibrant enough. It had a very old school vibe about it in terms of the colours that were used on the rides, particularly like roller coaster and zipper dipper, and it would need to be much brighter, because an area with that level of vibrancy, I can't see how that would have been attractive to children, and it certainly will not be attractive to 2020's children. Obviously, that's not to say though that the Pleasure Beach will bring back Beaver Creak if Nickelodeon Land is removed at the end of the 2021 season, or just whenever it's removed. Obviously, it's practically confirmed that Bradley Beaver will be returning to Blackpool Pleasure Beach, but not necessarily Beaver Creak. The Pleasure Beach could either create their own new children's area from scratch, or they could go with another IP. I'm not sure what, but just any IP that children are attracted to. If Pleasure Beach are to rebrand Nickelodeon Land at the end of this season though, it's going to come at a cost, and it's going to potentially push back their next coaster even further, because with COVID-19, the Big One retrack, Icon's new restraints, a Grand National retrack, Valhalla reimagining, and now potentially a Nickelodeon Land rebrand, they're going to be pretty low on funds at the moment. Speaking of Icon's new restraints, be sure to click the video in the top right to go and watch my rant on the new seatbelts coming to the ride for the 2021 season. Or click the video in the top left to watch whatever YouTube recommends to you. And be sure to click the icon at the bottom of your screen to subscribe, and leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. But for now, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.